everybody, this is Lorraine, Alternative Homesteading. I just wanted to say a quick hello to everybody. It's been a real sunny day. It's been in the low 80s, really pretty outside. Jesse has not returned. Jesse is gone. Jesse has been stolen. This is a very common thing here, and I do want to address this. I want to address not only that my cat was stolen and that my guinea fowl hen this week was harmed. People who are not familiar with being targeted don't get it. They just don't get it. Maybe they'll start to get it soon because of the way the world is and all the news that's coming out, and people are speaking out. And I highly recommend, if it's still up, going to the YouTube channel Off Grid with Doug and Stacy and watch their latest video on how the world is stealing our DNA, which of course targeted individuals are already well aware of this. We've been trying to warn people about this for years, but nobody would listen. Everybody was calling us conspiracy theorists. Well, I'm sorry, folks. You know, people are starting to wake up. I'm glad people are speaking out now. But I wanted to say that around 2 o'clock this morning, I received a message that a YouTube subscriber had left a message for me. You know, left a message under a video. And it was that last video where I said that the guinea hen fowl was recovering, and that I noticed that my cat Jessie has not been around. It's very unusual. I've had Jessie since a kitten. He is an indoor-outside cat. Since I moved here, he prefers to be outside with a couple of his buddies. And he has very specific places that he hangs out. He likes to hang out specifically by the stream in back of the house. He likes to drink from it and just hang out there and sleep. And he's usually there every day. I was so consumed with what had happened with the hen that I didn't think that anything else was going on. And these are the other babies I've got here. And the other ones that are here, this is, let's see if we can find them. This is the one who was sick. Hello, honey. This is the one that was sick that I thought was going to die. He's doing okay. He's walking around, eating, hanging out with the crowd. So I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled. But so this one person, and normally I don't call people out. Oh, well, you know, I guess sometimes I do. I don't usually call people out on my channel, especially people I don't know. But about a month ago, I had a new subscriber. And yeah, I'm going to call you out, girl. Her name is Christina. But she doesn't spell it Christina. She spells it C-R. Instead of an I, it's the number 1. And whenever people join my channel, I'm always curious. Do they have a YouTube channel? Are they a targeted person? Are they a friend of a friend? You know, so I'll click on their profile and stuff. And this one, I knew right away it was going to be an issue. It wasn't, when I looked at the profile, it wasn't anyone that I would want to associate with. And when I looked at the profile, not her photo, but I don't know what it's called, the longer photo above, like where I have my flowers. She has a license plate that says dead 666. Well, for anybody that's awake out there, you know, I don't associate with Satan or the devil. Although I know that Satan and the devil is after all of us. That dark energy that these Luciferian Satanists are imposing upon the rest of the population. But I'm going to tell you, girl, if you don't like my content, you can unsubscribe. I don't like your energy. The fact that you had the audacity to say that someone should call the ASPCA or PETA on me, that I'm doing this to my animals, girl. Come over here, honey. You want a lawsuit? Say it again, and I'll not only remove your content, but I will report you to YouTube. So if you're a perpetrator, if you're a stalker, a cyber stalker, get off my channel. This is just a warning, girl. And for anybody else that is listening to this, go check out her profile and you tell me what you think. Would you want to associate with somebody with this profile? And girl, yeah, I did remove your comments because it's off the charts. It's off the wall. You post another comment like that, you're going to be in big trouble, hun. I love my animals. I spend a lot of money and time on my animals. And unfortunately, I happen to be a targeted person. And as a targeted person, the psychopath that placed me in this program and paid somebody to get me on the list and then execute their gang stalking program against me, I've got a bunch of criminals coming onto my property, doing everything humanly possible to destroy me inside, outside, financially, emotionally, psychologically, because that's what the program is about. That's what it's about, folks. So what they do is, while they're surveilling you, and all the targeted people know this, while they're surveilling you for a year, 2 years, even more than that, they are taking notes on how they can design, how can they can script their torture program against you. So if they were surveilling me for years and years, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it was, they would know that I'm involved in animal rights. I've been caring for cats for years, since I'm actually a child. I love animals, and since I moved to Kentucky, now I'm able to have chickens where I really was not able to have them in New Jersey. I spend a lot of money and a lot of time on my animals. I'm not going to go into that right now, but I also have a 501c3 nonprofit that is being assaulted by these cyber stalkers like Christina, leaving comments like that to discredit me. Girl, I'm sending everybody to your channel. How about that? I mean, it's empty, but I want everybody to see who you are, just in case you're stalking somebody else's channel. So now, after they're surveilling you for years and taking notes and giving it back to the Fusion Center, right? The Fusion Center where they compile all this information, all this intel. Ask Edward Snowden. Read his book, Permanent Record. You will learn everything you need to know about what's been happening here with our privacy. And for anybody that knows me long term, knows that, one, I'm not political. I didn't even vote for years. I didn't vote. I didn't know the difference between a Democrat or a Republican. I didn't care. I don't watch TV. It's not an interest to me. The only time I've watched TV is to watch a concert or something. And even the concerts are filled with satanic rituals, which is basically what this program is. And basically what has been happening to the entire country. For people that are awake, what has been happening in our country over the last 2 years with the COVID, the SHOT, all of that stuff. This is trauma-based mind control. Trauma-based mind control, folks. And it's also satanic ritual abuse and sacrifices, because a certain number of people were going to be sacrificed. for their Satan. Satan is their God. It's not mine. So during all these surveillance processes, now I'll use me for an example, and I know when I was under surveillance, I didn't understand what it was for. I just figured it was those crazy cat ladies in New Jersey, those nonprofits that were tormenting me and stealing my cats and posting them on Adopt a Pet to resell them, and fundraising for my cats and keeping the money, you know, all that stuff. That's a whole nother story. But during that time, of course, they watch your lifestyle. Where does she go to eat? What is she eating? Where does she shop? What does she wear? How does she wear her clothes? What are the brands of clothing that she wears? What kinds of foods does she eat? Is it organic? Does she eat meat? Does she eat vegetables? What is it about her that we can learn, that we can script our torture program against her? So what they carefully learned was that I lived in a big, beautiful home. As a divorced single woman, I bought my ex-husband out of that house. It cost me a little bit of money after a 3.5-year-long horrific divorce. You would think that we were like wealthy or like celebrities or something to have a divorce that lasted so long. So I have a big, beautiful house that I decorated inside and out, and I landscaped everything, literally by hand. I collected antiques, angels, armoires, beautiful photographs, porcelain, books. As an adult learner, attaining my master's degree in my 50s, I had a lot of books. I taught classes in my house. I had healing circles in my house, meditation circles in my house. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I guess technically I'm called a hypnotist because depending on what state you live in, you cannot call yourself a therapist. Like in New Jersey, a therapist, they've coined the term therapist as being somebody who's a licensed practitioner. And I have an undergraduate degree in psychology, abnormal, deviant, and violent psychology with a concentration in addictive behaviors. And then my master's is in psychology with a concentration in health. And my master's thesis, if you will, was on the negative side effects of medicating children diagnosed with ADHD. So given all of these things, I'm going to wipe my camera again. They concoct a narrative not only to defame the person, but to destroy the life of that person through torture, through vandalism. What can they do to break down and destroy that person? Me. And one of the things that they started doing was harming my cats. And not just here in Kentucky, this started in New Jersey. But of course, back then, I had no idea what was going on. I really didn't. And most targeted people don't know what's going on until you're years into the program. After you've called the police, after you've changed your locks 3 times, after you've installed 5 security systems, after you've hired a private detective, after you've had your home swept by an EMF company, Oh, and these are some of the stupid things these people do. So, like, they think that they're gardeners, folks. Now, my dirt is up to here. So what these criminals do is they actually stuck seeds in here. This is grass, by the way, folks. And they did this in a lot of my boxes. And then something that they did last year was I completely cleared a portion of the yard here. I'll show you. I completely cleared a portion of this yard, dumped really good soil for planting vegetables. And, you know, it takes time. I'm one person. So after it was all cleared and all the soil was there, the criminals went onto my driveway and stole that white gravel, gray gravel, and carted a bunch of it and dumped it in my new beds here. This year they planted all this grass seed here. And this year they have also, on my berry bushes, these berry shrubs, every berry that started to fruit, they charred, burned them. They burned them off. I have not tasted one berry from, I've got dozens of berry shrubs. I haven't tasted one berry because they destroyed each and every one of them. So this is a form of asset stripping. It's a form of torment. Imagine raising a little plant, right? You've got a little plant, you've nursed it, it's finally growing, and you're going to see the fruits of your labor, literally the fruits of your labor. And these people that are surveilling me 24/7 are likely through remote neural monitoring, which means that they're watching what I'm watching. They're seeing what I see. They hear what I hear. They are smelling what I smell. Yes, folks. It's also called synthetic telepathy and remote neural monitoring, RNM. Which means that while I'm in the shower, lathering up my body, they're watching. If I were in a relationship and being intimate with my partner, they would be watching. If I chose to pleasure myself, they would be watching. They're watching right now. And this is my beautiful property. The grass was just cut today. I'm so grateful that I found someone to help me cut this grass because the criminals destroyed my lawnmower. They cracked the carburetor. They sliced the leather seat, drilled holes in the side hose, lowered the deck that cuts the grass so that the front of the deck is literally touching the ground. I don't know how to fix it. I just don't. I don't have the tools, the know-how to do it, so I'm going to need some help or get a new lawnmower. I'm just going to close this gate. Just walk with me for a minute. So when, yes, I've got a very creaky gate here. So with synthetic telepathy, they are hearing, seeing, sensing everything that I do. And to imagine that invasion of privacy is beyond, how do I phrase it? It's beyond disturbing. I try to not think about it. Before all this, I was an extremely private person. very private. Don't talk about my private business with anybody. You know, even a man that I had dated, it's nobody's business. You know, what goes on with us stays with us, you know, that kind of thing. I was never one of those women that hangs out with their girlfriends and talk about their guy. It was just, that's not me. And even my friends would tease me sometimes, you know, and I'd say, no, you know, it's not what you think. It's just not what you think. So these people likely surveilling me. Think about this for a minute. I had multiple businesses. I have an eBay store. I've had a nonprofit cat rescue. During the time that they're surveilling me, I was likely still, let me think about this. I was likely still in my staffing business. I once had a staffing business, internet staffing. It's called Integrated Staffing Resources, Inc. And I did what was called a splits business with partners in New York City who had staffing agencies. I was standalone. And at the time, none of those people, believe it or not, would source people through the internet. They were still doing it the old way, through fax machine, through face-to-face interviews. I wasn't doing it that way. I was getting all the interviews through the internet. And the people that I was sourcing for them were all technology people, network engineers, telecommunications, all for Wall Street. So I not only was I sourcing them, I was interviewing them and also sometimes testing them for interviews. So I was a very successful interviewer and staffer. And I'd even had a couple of my own clients, one of which was Bristol Myers Squibb. And the first person that I placed, I was so thrilled, was a network engineer. And I earned $18,000 from one job placement. I was thrilled. So I worked my ass off. I worked sometimes 60 to 80 hours a week. And to think that some nefarious, jealous criminals have been surveilling and watching my progress, watching everything I do, watching my build a nonprofit from zero to partnering with a dozen businesses, and then watch them systematically destroy it for profit, for revenge, for the hate of women, to tear down a person is beyond nefarious. It's criminal. It's criminal. And that's what they do to targeted people. So, Miss Christina, please leave my channel. I don't want somebody with your energy following me. I'm an intelligent, successful woman. I love my animals. I would feed my animals before I fed my own self. So the next time you leave a nasty comment like that, I may do something better than just delete your comment. And since you're already dead, 666, keep on going. Cyber stalkers only stalk winners. They don't stalk losers. They stalk people that they're envious and jealous of, and that they hate. They have a deep, deep hatred because it's everything that they're not. They don't have joy in their life, so they want to steal it from someone else. In fact, somebody wrote a book called The Joy Thieves. the pathetic narcissistic society we have found ourselves living in. We are breeding a society of narcissists. And all these vines here, I have already taken down all these vines, and they're growing back because, you know, the criminals like to do planting. They think that they're gardeners too. So they like to plant grass seed and creeping vines and weeds wherever I clean, just to make things difficult for me, to sabotage my efforts and stuff. Like, this was completely cleared. And now I'm going to have to take all of these vines down. So for all you targeted people out there, just stay strong. The world is a-changing for everybody. And I know that we have been speaking out for a long time, trying to warn people about this technology and what we are experiencing, and nobody would believe us. Nobody would even listen. Do you think they'll listen now? It reminds me of that song, Starry, Starry Night. That was back in the day, you know, it's back in my day. You know, I was born in the 50s, 58. And I believe the song is called Vincent, about Vincent van Gogh. Who was quite brilliant. And a lot of people misunderstood him. He ended up cutting off his ear. You know, back in the day, people took their lives. We didn't have the kinds of social media that we have now, where we can just hop online and speak to anybody. It's got pros and cons, folks. But I highly recommend that anybody that doesn't like what I'm discussing, you don't have to listen. Christina, if you don't like my content, leave. I actually don't like your energy. And I get a bad vibe. I don't like getting a bad vibe about people. So please go on your way. And we'll just leave it at that. And for the targeted people out there, they understand that they get cyber-stalked by people like that. It's a full discredit, defamatory campaign against an individual. It doesn't matter how successful you are. I know people with PhDs that are targeted. Journalists. I mean, come on. Look at Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. They're being tortured. Oh, we've got some neighbors running around here. Making a little bit of noise. There go two of them. Of course, they're looking down here. Hey, what you looking at over there, guys? You want to be on my YouTube channel? So I just wanted to also, and maybe I'll make another video about this because it's a completely different topic. And I was thinking about it today. And you know, what's been happening with that, the Donald person, you know, the Trump guy, for the last few years. I believe that he's a targeted individual. I do. And I believe that what is happening in the United States is that the United States is a targeted individual. Actually, the United States is a targeted country, right? We go from being like one of the greatest countries in the world, prosperous, everybody wants to live here. Everybody wants the American way, to not be able to feed our own people, have medical supplies. We've got more homeless people than ever before. People are losing their homes. This is all carefully designed and carefully orchestrated, just the way the takedown of my life was carefully orchestrated and scripted and destroyed, one by one, person by person. Now, the experiments that they've done on me and you and all the other targeted individuals, the 2 million of us in the United States alone, it's being rolled out to the entire country. The entire country is targeted. The destruction of the USA has been underway, just as the destruction of each targeted individual. The defamation, the slander, the rumors, the blackmail, going behind people's backs and contacting family and friends and telling them that we're under investigation for some nefarious crime, knocking us out, photographing us, disseminating our photos across the internet for profit, for trafficking. And when I say knocking us out, they can do it with radio frequencies or a drug called scopolamine. The radio frequencies, once they have your DNA, they will hit those portions of your brain to cause you to immediately fall asleep. You don't even know it's happening. You'll go from being completely awake to completely asleep. You may wake up 10 minutes later, an hour later, or 3 hours later. And when you wake, you have no idea what happened. You'll feel groggy. Sometimes you'll even feel like you're going to vomit, because whatever they've done to you has affected your health. You may feel dizzy, queasy. So yes, my theory is that the United States is a targeted individual. It's the intentional takedown of this country. Carefully designed, carefully scripted and orchestrated. Just the way every targeted person is carefully scripted and orchestrated and examined, investigated to find out what your weaknesses are, what are your strengths, what will take down that person. Like Lorraine. Let's get her animals. Let's get those innocent little creatures that she cares for so hard. Let's get her property, because she works so hard on that property and trying to grow food. Let's make her spend more money by crashing her roof with another tree. Let's go steal her cat this weekend while we're torturing her guinea fowl hen. And Jesse is gone. He's not here. And I will make note that over the weekend was a full moon. And these criminals, many of them are Satanists. I'm sorry for those people that don't like to hear that. And yes, somebody down below said it was the F word, F-R-E-E word, Satanists. You know, those people that haven't grown up. The cult. I call it a cult. C-U-L-T. But that's just my language for who they are. Anything done in secret that you can't reveal, that you take an oath that you can't reveal, under the getting your tongue cut out, or whatever it is that those stupid vows are. That's not a club, folks. It's not a club. It's not a society or a sorority. And even some of those fraternities are horrific. It is a cult. C-U-L-T. So I'm going to end here. For all of you people that do have channels and have new subscribers, I highly recommend when you have time, taking a look at who those subscribers are. Because I've listened to a lot of YouTube creators calling out certain people, leaving negative comments for them. And please note that some people are paid to leave those negative comments. Some people are paid to troll your channel. Sometimes they're paid to troll your channel because they are being groomed to be a quote-unquote gang stalker, a cyber stalker. And sometimes they do it just for kicks, because there are a lot of envious, jealous, unhappy, sadistic people in this world. They get off on harassing other people. They're bullies. They're adult bullies. But I just got a low battery alert, so I'm going to sign off here. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I hope everybody has a good night. And I'm going to be putting my chickens to sleep soon. And I found out, guys, that is not a chicken. That's not a hen. That is a rooster. He was crowing this morning. So I've got another rooster. I thought he was a hen, but no, he's a rooster. So everybody, hope you have a good night. This is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, and I will talk to you in the next video.